What's up? It's your host, Angie, and I just want to let you, the audience, know that this show may offend people, but I have to get it off my chest. So if I lose subs or friends, I can live with that. But I can't sugarcoat for likes or popularity. Now let's start it. What's up, YouTube? We back. Episode 11 of the Underrated podcast. I'm your host, G. Now, you can't say you haven't been warned. I put a disclaimer out. So, now it's time for me to give my opinion. And my opinion will definitely be aimed at myself as well. So, if you take offense to it, you can't take more offense to it than me, because it's aimed at myself as well. So we're going to get into the first topic. Now let's speak on Black Lives Matter. Now Black Lives Matter was started by 3 talented and successful black women, as you see on the screen. This organization was formed in the wake of Trayvon Martin's murder, which justice was not served, but I believe the stepfather had something to do with it. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. However, Black Lives Matter continued to tackle and attack many issues, from the Mike Brown case, the 21 Savage case with ICE, and the case which we have right here, which is the murder of George Floyd. Now, there are some people that feel that Black Lives Matter isn't doing their fair share to fight injustice in America. My question is, where's the black men, and why are they standing in the black background? And that includes myself. We can't complain about the efforts of these sisters. They are actually putting it on the line. Does anyone remember examples of black men leadership, like the ones I'm showing you now? These men stood on the front lines and knew death was around the corner. Now we have more men standing in the background while women are speaking on our behalf. We gotta man up. That's just the bottom line. Now, this picture you see here is a picture of Tamika Mallory, an activist for the black community. She's experienced racism firsthand too, as well, from trying to board a national airline. I won't say the name. And she also lost the father of her child to violence, or the street life, or aka the culture. So she knows the ills of the street life. She knows the black man's plight. Now, what I'm about to show you now is a clip from her viral speech, but I'm also show you another clip from the same day from a man, and I'm gonna explain why men need to stand up for themselves.
The reason why buildings are burning is because this city, this state, would prefer preserving that white nationalism and that white supremacist mindset over arresting, charging, and helping to convict 4 officers who killed a black man. That is the reality of what we're dealing with. This is not just a few cops doing things across the country. This is not a good cop versus bad cop situation. This is Ahmaud Arbery being shot down by white men on the streets of Georgia. Breonna Taylor being killed in her home. This is in New York City, where we were until freedom. We were just in New York fighting the police officers who, in the name of social distancing, were damn near killing black young people on our streets. This is a coordinated activity happening across this nation. And so we are in a state of emergency. Black people are dying in a state of emergency. We cannot look at this as an isolated incident. The reason why buildings are burning are not just for our brother George Floyd. They're burning down because people here in Minnesota are saying to people in New York, to people in California, to people in Memphis, to people all across this nation, enough is enough. And we are not responsible for the mental illness that has been inflicted upon our people by the American government, institutions, and those people who are in positions of power. I don't give a damn if they burn down Target, because Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve.
Talk about it, Tamika.
Where was AutoZone at the time when Philando Castile was shot in a car, which is what they actually represent? Where were they? So if you are not coming to the people's defense, then don't challenge us when young people and other people who are frustrated and instigated by the people you pay. You are paying instigators to be among our people out there throwing rocks, breaking windows, and burning down buildings. And so young people are responding to that. They are enraged, and there's an easy way to stop it. Arrest the cops. Charge the cops. Charge all the cops. Not just some of them, not just here in Minneapolis. Charge them in every city across America where our people are being murdered. Charge them everywhere. That's the bottom line. Charge the cops. Do your job. Do what you say this country is supposed to be about, the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired. Don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted black people. America looted the Native Americans when they first came here. So looting is what you do. We learned it from you. We learned violence from you. We learned violence from you. The violence was what we learned from you. So if you want us to do better, then damn it, you do better.
We appreciate that passion, Tamika. We need that, especially in the black male community. We need that energy in a positive way. Now, the conviction of these officers was a tad slow, and a third-degree murder charge would not equal to justice for the black community. But I'm gonna be honest, she had some great points in the speech. For example, the national conviction rate of police officers in police-related shootings, mental and psychological effects of living in low-income housing, and identifying agitators and particular groups with hidden agendas. But there was a portion of her speech where she lost me. So when she spoke of Target, she was basically deeming it okay for Target to burn down due to the fact that, I guess, officials and representatives of the company was not marching on the streets for this murder. Now, in history of black culture involving fighting for civil rights, there's not too many big organizations actually did what you ask. So that should have been outside of the speech, because when you deem that type of activity as okay with the emotional energy that you sent off to the people, it pretty much signaled a riot. And when half of the town is burned down and you're you're an outsider, you live outside of Minneapolis, and to deem a riot to be okay in Minneapolis, and the buildings are actually being burnt down, and these people, civilians in this town, actually need these companies to get their stuff. Now, are you going to ensure that the people that suffer from the loss of these companies are covered? Healthcare, as far as medicines, food for families, is that happening? No, it's not. Let's be honest. And it's not going to happen. So, there was a point also when she identified that the agitators were inciting it. Her solution was to arrest the cops. Well, the cops been arrested. Looting and civil unrest still remains. Now, it's a well-known fact that America was kidnapped from the natives by the Europeans. That's a well-known fact. But trust me, people been violent. Civil and ethnic wars been going on since the beginning of time. And if you want to look at it, a lot of people said that black men are the original man. So if that's the case, then we've been violent. And I rest my case there.
And charges for everything that they did that violated the law and the civil rights of George Floyd. Do you want to share something?
Yes, please, briefly. My name is Lee Merritt. I'm a civil rights attorney. I've been given the privilege of being able to stand as co-counsel with this family with Attorney Benjamin Crump. We made an announcement earlier today that this community is going to back and that we're going to see push forward into the future. The first, I appreciate the question. We need long-term systemic change. And one arrest and 4 arrests won't accomplish that. And so we're taking this family, the family of George Floyd, along with the family of Ahmaud Arbery, along with the family of Breonna Taylor, to the capital city. We're taking them to Capitol Hill. We're demanding specific federal legislation that changes qualified immunity, that changes police accountability standards. We're meeting with this community because we dare not dictate to them what they need to change this community. We're putting together a task force that will systematically address not only the issues prevalent here in Minnesota, but in South Georgia and in Texas and in Chicago and all over the country, because this problem is far beyond the death of one man, but we can draw a line in the sand here.
That's right.
Black people are exhausted, and I speak on behalf of some of the greatest attorneys in the country, with Chris Stewart, with Benjamin Crump, with his partner, Mr. Miller. We're bringing our legal power here. We're bringing our activist power here. We're bringing our celebrity power here. We're bringing everything that we have. We're laying it on the line. We're saying this is enough. It's going to change permanently.
Any other questions?
Can you say your name one more time, sir?
Lee Merritt, Leemerritt.
And your title?
Civil rights attorney for the family of Ahmaud Arbery and co-counsel for the family of George Floyd.
Okay, so I'm seeing no more questions.
Now it's clear to see that this event or press conference was ran by women, which is fine. It's okay. We appreciate that y'all have our back 100%. Now, Lee Merritt's response was a logical response. And at a time like this, I understand that people are emotional and logic doesn't always win over emotion. However, he was trying to give out hints and clues of maybe try to wait until you feel that urge to go riot, or guys, we are trying to tackle this on a different level. The line, like he said, the line is drawn, but we're trying to tackle this on a different level. So when he said we dare not tell this community how they should handle this, in other words, do not burn down your community, because you need your community. You need those stores. You go to those stores every day. And to get emotional and destroy your own neighborhood and your own community, it's not going to help you. And it didn't help, because we seen this fly-by-night situation. And he's trying to ensure the public that this won't be a fly-by-night situation, which he also said this should not be looked at as an isolated event, and she's right. But do not give instructions to mob. It's a different way of handling this, and that's why I say that men need to stand up for themselves. Speak for yourselves, because we got an emotional speech. By the time we got to the logical part of problem solving, it's too late. It's too late. All everybody look at is the viral part of the speech. The logic was behind. The logic was at the end, and the logic should have been in the beginning, and it would have settled people down, at least bored them for a little while. You gotta understand. You gotta understand, black people. Tearing up your own community only hurts you. I heard somebody tell me there would be casualties of war. And I was like, casualties of war? You tell that to that elderly couple that can't get their stuff. You tell that to that small black business owner that she got insurance, that everything's going to be okay. What is half of it's not even covered? People are walking out of businesses with their retail goods that they live. People are not balling that have small owned businesses. And for people to think that it's okay to burn down other people's property, then you're acting like animals. And there's agitators in there to help you do it. You got to look past that, man. Black men, you got to step up. We, black men, have to step up. Now, we have a culture problem. We have culture issues. Like all cultures have culture issues and culture problems. But one of our biggest problems is murder. Now, people don't want to admit that that is a problem, or saying that this outweighs that. Now, what you're seeing is a picture of the man who murdered Tyshawn Lee, 9 years old, murdered, shot in the head by this man with this devil smirk on his face. But you know why Tyshawn died? If you go on YouTube and you look up most of the Chicago bloggers that blog on the situation there, you're gonna be disgusted on the reason why this 9-year-old got his brains blown out. To make a long story short, what his dad was doing in the streets got him killed. And you're telling me that's not an issue. You're telling me that's not an issue. Now look at this lady, Crystal Bynum. Look how empty the street looks. It looks like it's just her protesting. Stop the killing. And it's only one person on the street. It's only one. But that's not an issue. It's not an issue. This man right here, the convicted killer of the retired police captain, David Dorn? Yeah. Do you know how many times he evaded jail before he finally murdered somebody? 3-4 times. Constantly. Just leaving jail. Just going to court. They're giving them probation. Violate probation. Come back. Get another slap on the wrist. Now David Dorn is dead because this guy wanted a flat screen TV. But nobody's upset. That's just normalized. That's not a real problem. No, it ain't a real problem. It ain't. No, not a real problem to attack anyway. Let's look at these numbers. June to date. This is in Chicago. 17 shot and killed. 137 shot and wounded. 154 total shot. 20 total homicides. But we don't have a problem. And you know why the problem is going to be the way it is? And it's going to stay that way? Because we as men are docile. We losing our backbone. Because we're scared to go talk to the youngest. Because we're scared they're going to shoot us. They might not. They might listen. They might not. But is it not worth the effort? We just stand by and watch them commit self-destruction. Not just on themselves, but in the whole community. You think I'm lying? You don't think this is passed down from generation to generation? This behavior, which should not be tolerated, has become a social norm. If we don't feel like we have culture issues that we need to tackle and address, well then, yeah, this cycle of consistent violence is not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. Us as black men got to police our community, man. We supposed to be the pillars of our community. And we standing in the background. And our kids are becoming killers. And they just killing each other. So, what are we doing as black men? Hey, look, this is the Underrated Podcast. I am your host, Aunt G. This is episode 11. And I hope that my friends don't take it the wrong way, or subscribers as well. But if you do, I do understand, but I can't just sit here and act like this doesn't exist. Again, this is the Underrated Podcast, and we out.